Hello. Well, this feels great to be back live on channel and finishing up on in our purpose closure reading room. I really miss being online, but I've had a very busy schedule, but I've made a commitment to be consistent and do not allow myself to go too long without posting a video. So if you like what you have been hearing so far on the other purpose closure videos, please like and share the videos and subscribe. And make sure you hit the bell, because what that'll do is notify you when I come online live. And then that way you can participate in the live chat area. Excuse me, I'm drink a cup of water, a sip of water actually. I have been busy all day and I've been traveling for the last month. So my throat is a little raspy. So as you see in the topic about today is family businesses. And I do have a chapter, very short chapter, and purpose closure, which is in volume 2 about family business, and that's chapter 6. And what we're going to do is read it and discuss it and go through it. If someone comes in um, during a live chat, feel free to ask any questions, and you can also interact, because I like that. I love to get feedback. Also, you can give comments, feedbacks. I don't get offended. I really want feedback. I want to make sure that these videos are not in vain, that someone is getting something out of it, because if I can just touch one, then I'm fulfilling my purpose. So if you want to know where to get this book from, also put my website link at the bottom, which is thepurposeofclosure.com. You can purchase it on my bookstore page, or either you can you can get it on Amazon. But if you purchase it from my website, you'll get it autographed as well. Okay, so let's start. It is, what time is it? 12:02. So actually, it's the 16th of May, no longer the 15th. And I'm here in the Carolinas. It was a beautiful day. Tomorrow's supposed to be 84. So we thank God for the beautiful weather and that we're alive to feel it. Okay? So now, as I said, now I was writing out the eyes of a child. So this is in 1971, reading from The Purpose of Closure, Volume 2. This is noted with intervention and answers. Now, in 1971, my second grade teacher was named Miss Emishi. Boy, was she a mean old white woman with gray hair, well dressed with bifocal glasses, and pushed the issue about learning how to read. I appreciated her because reading wasn't my favorite subject, but it's the most important thing to learn. Reading is not an option, it is a necessity in life for life. Excuse me. During the beginning of school year, our family business began to grow. My parents hired a white woman to be our maid. Her name was Miss Mary. She was a short, heavy, gray haired old Polish woman with a big stomach, no front teeth, and had a high pitched voice. She seemed sneaky. She was very nosy, rambling through our house. I couldn't really figure her out either. My family always asked me what I was thinking about, because I paid attention to what was always going on. I was saying, I'm just observing, not observing, observing. I was young, so that was a big word to me. I'm just observing. And they would laugh at me because they thought it was cute the way I was trying to pronounce observing. Now, coming from me at such a young age, parents laugh at the kids the way they say things, but honestly, I think, you should really make an effort to correct them, so they won't pick up that habit and think it's okay to pronounce things like that. Now, I was trying to pronounce observing coming from me at such a young age. Miss Mary, one day, after picking me up from school, now pay attention, brought me home and made me go upstairs to change out of my school clothes. When I came back downstairs, I saw Miss Mary climbing a step ladder to my parents' closet. I looked up and I noticed under her flowered dress blood stains in her panties. Being only a second grader, I found that very astonishing, and I told my mom what I saw. I thought she was cleaning, but she was cleaning out my parents' savings they stashed in their closet. My dad fired her because I told my mom and she told him. They realized she had been stealing from them, which caused a lot of confusion in our home. You must be careful who you let in your home and really listen to what your child tells you about people. My parents worked very hard operating and owning a soul food restaurant in the hood on the east side of Buffalo, New York. It was established May 3rd, 1968. Now, since Miss Mary was no longer with us, I had to help on weekends and sometimes late in the evenings during the weekdays at our restaurant because we didn't have a maid anymore to help around the house or look after us. Almost every day, I was mopping and sweeping the floor, taking food orders, and cleaning the chicken. Let me explain to you what is cleaning the chicken. I had to split the chicken open and take out the intestines, make sure I saved the livers and the gizzards because mom and dad sold them in the restaurant as a side order, just like my mom did when she was a little girl, except I didn't have to wring the chicken's neck. My parents would purchase them by the crates from Will's Poetry on William Street in Buffalo. We specialize in buffalo chicken wings with mumbo sauce. The customers called me Little French Fries. It was basically a takeout restaurant with a few booths to sit and eat. There was a long black counter I had to keep clean all the time. In the back was a room where I had to do my homework and take naps on this long wooded table. It would be late at night before we got home. The restaurant was about 1,200 square feet with a huge walk-in silver freezer. Also, there was a room with a long silver sink where I had to wash crates of collard mustard and turnip greens. I would sometimes dump orders of fries and chicken in the deep fryer. My dad and mom taught me how to use the cash register. I was exposed to doing business and handling money at a very young age. Next door was Mr. Wallop's barbershop and Mr. King's grocery store. Now, this is a black community on Genesee and Jefferson Street in Buffalo, New York. He would give us, Mr. King at the grocery store, he would give us free candy too, just because we were Stanley and Inez Brand's daughters. I was I was everybody's little Sandy. Now, Sandy was like, my real name is Cassandra, but my child name, my friends and family called me Sandy. On the other corner was a bar when at closing time, everyone would come to our restaurant to get buffalo chicken wings and fries or a wing box. Upstairs was an after hour gambling joint where my dad spent a lot of time. At our restaurant, I met all kinds of people: drug dealers, pimps, Thieves, prostitutes, and older men would try to talk to me, like my two oldest daughters' father, William Hopper. I met him while working in our family's restaurant when I was about 10 years old. One day in the restaurant, he came in the restaurant to order food. As I was taking his order, I will never forget what he said to me. One day, I will have you. Now, I'm 10 years old, and this is what this man says to me. I learned later in the years that he was one of my father's co-workers at Chevrolet plant. This is another example of being careful who you have your children around. Behind the restaurant was my dad's mechanic. He owned a garage and worked on almost everyone in the neighborhood cars. He was a short, dark man, always covered with oil, grease, and dirt. I've always been surrounded by business owners. Further down the street was the Beasley family. My sister Sonia and I played with them when we didn't have chores to do at the restaurant. They owned a beauty salon and a barbershop too. The Beasley family was a very big family and lived in a building that was about one third of the block. I mean, that means they owned their property. They didn't rent it, they owned it. In the summer months, I would be at the restaurant day and night. Sometimes we go to Granny's house on Emsley Street. There we would have to do work also. She would have us to help roll the dough to make sweet potato pies. Granny loved the Lord. She always had a Bible sitting on the dining room table, singing, reading, and praying at the same time. All her children would be coming and going to either check on her or to bring money for the pies. They were sold in the restaurant and stores. Even Granny had her own business going on. Yes, my granny was a businesswoman too. My Uncle John and Paul Young and my Aunt Claudia owned soul food restaurants also. It was a family franchise. Everyone loved Granny's sweet potato pies. She was the foundation of it all. Now, it's a very short chapter, but if you was really listening, okay, I just want to go over the fact how I started with about reading. I put it in this chapter because reading is important and it should be exercise. It should be a lifestyle because the more you do it, um, the better it gets. The less you do it, the worse it gets because of comprehension, having a lazy mind. Because when you're in business, you have paperwork. You have to file trademarks, copyrights. You have to patent things. And unfortunately, my family did not do it. They did not patent buffalo chicken wings. But as I had said before, in 2013, it was documented of the Youngs were the actual founders of Buffalo Chicken Wings. So it is important to read. Don't just go in business because you got an ideal. Do your research, have a vision, have a business plan. Because back in those days, you could rent a building for maybe like $250 a month because, rent was cheap. If even that, I really don't know how much they paid for rent, but I'm quite sure it wasn't like these outrageous prices today. Some places pay $10,000, $20,000 a month rent for a little bit of space. Don't even think about it in New York, New York. Oh my goodness. But my point is count your costs. And how do you count your costs? You got to be able to read and comprehend. So don't be afraid, to pick up a book, read, Google it. Now you can Google it. You really don't even have to do a real heavy research, but you want to have confirmation. Family business, we need more Black family businesses in our community. And that's how I was raised. Like I said, we had a barbershop that was Black owned, beauty salon that was Black owned, the mechanic shop that was Black owned. The candy store, the grocery store next door, that was black owned. The entire community was black owned. And some owned their own property, which made it even better, and some rented. Now, our family business, it lasts for a while, but I pretty much, which I'll get into it later, I always say that because I don't want to get ahead of myself. But, I wasn't around that long because I ended up going into a juvenile delinquent home because we had a lot of family problems. And as I said, a lot of it was really for financial reasons, and which is one of the main reasons why, we have a lot of problems in family owned businesses and marriages as well. Also, the bar that was at the corner, they had a speakeasy after our joint upstairs that my father um, spent a lot of time there, shooting his dice and getting his hustle on, and also drinking, which alcohol gives people courage. And the reason why some people need courage is because they don't have a full understanding. The word of God said, of all things, get understanding. And if you cannot read, or if you don't exercise reading to get understanding, of course you can pray. And I'm not saying you got to be like an educated giant or, the smartest person in the world, but it will help you, especially when you want to open up a business. I've done quite a few different ventures in business, and I will be the first one to admit I faked it till I thought I could make it. But it comes to a point, if the business outgrows you, then what happens? You have to grow with the business. How do you grow it? You got to know knowledge. Knowledge is powerful. How do you get knowledge? Reading, listening, learning. It's a continuation, never a graduation. So people get a business, especially black owned businesses. They make a lot of bad decisions, have wonderful ideals, but really bad decisions. And the business, they fall through. They don't last very long. But if we as a community would take our ideals and, build a strong foundation within our community, that's how I was raised. We supported and in each other's business. We didn't go across town around, to the other side of town, to the suburbs. We supported each other's business. Me personally, I support my community. I go to the same gas stations. I go to the same grocery stores. I go to the same neighborhood Walmart. I really don't shop there, but I go to the money center. Um, I believe in keeping the money in the community. And now, since we have diverse people, and the Muslims come in, or the foreigners come in, or the Spanish people come in and start buying up our property, from underneath our feet because we're not taking care of business. But it's just to say, okay, I have a business, I'm a business. That's not enough. That is not good enough. It takes hard work. You go out there, you work 8 hours, 10, 12 hours for other companies, and pretty much sell your soul, all your energy, all your ideals. Why not do it for yourself? That's my question. Why not do it for yourself? If you're going to work for yourself. Okay. I was also talking about, be careful who you bring around you. Like that lady, my mom, she was working and dad was working. So they needed someone to pick us up from school, make sure we had our lunch and make sure we was taken care of after school, that we were not unsupervised. But this woman was actually stealing from my parents. And like I said, if I wouldn't have seen that while she was up in the closet on a little step ladder, and I had not told my mother, and she had not believed me, then it still would have been a lot of confrontation and confusion in the house. And she would have continued to be stealing, and my mother would have been thinking, looking at my father would have been looking at my mother. So when your children tell you something, don't brush them off. Really pay attention. Because if you downsize it, what'll happen is they won't want to open up and tell you anything. And then you have all this chaos going on in your household and you don't know why. Well, let's start with you was told, I mean, you was made aware of it, but you choose not to believe the child because you on the phone, or you with Tyrone, or you're so busy about getting that money, but people steal it from you too. So you just you get the money, but you're not keeping it. Okay, so these are my points about family business. And like the Oriental people, they be having their child on their knee while they doing nails. You $5. You like design, $5. And the kids, you have to raise them so that they will develop, the desire to work or to be self-employed. Perfect example. I have a daughter, and when I used to have a nail salon and a beauty salon, she used to go with me after school sometimes, especially on Saturdays. And I had clients that had was getting pedicures done, and she would take the polish off, and she would polish them. She would get the water, ready and things like that. And now she has her own beauty lounge. As a matter of fact, she did my sewing. You know, that's a closure. And she put 2 colors of hair in there. I'm not bragging on a curl or anything like that because I don't want to get into the habit of feeling like everything's got to be perfect before I get online, because everything would never be perfect. And if I think like that, I'll never get online. I'll never get this information out to share with you because somebody really needs to hear this. So, you teach your children how to work, how to earn money. Not thinking that mom and dad or auntie or grandma is an ATM machine. You have to work. The word of God said, if you don't work, you don't eat. Yes, sometimes we all need, a helping hand, but not because you're just too lazy, you don't want to work. Okay? It starts from childhood. I'm not saying it's too late once you become an adult or a teenager, but it really strengthens the character of knowing the importance of working. Either you're going to work hard for someone else, which is going to be twice as hard, or either you're going to work hard for yourself and you're going to build a legacy and stability and financial security. And you're going to also have continuing education through reading and researching. And as Black-owned businesses, we don't do that. You see them open up, next thing you know, they close. It's getting better now because I have um, associates that's been in business for years, and they're building, they're adding, and they're growing. And I think it's beautiful, and I'm really, really happy for them. I'm very proud of them, and they know who they are. I'm very proud of them. So, as far as family businesses, especially Black-owned businesses, we have to be consistent, take it serious, just like you do when you go and work for someone else. Don't take it for granted just because you got a business, that you're in business and people are going to come because you have a business. You have to provide excellent customer service. You can't be on the phone and cussing people and saying, yeah, this my nigga, and bitch just acting ghetto fabulous. People can go somewhere else and get better service. It may not be better food or better quality, but I'm very particular about where I spend my money. I really am. And customer service has a lot to do with it, because it's just like taking money and putting it in a pot, a pot with no bottom, just falls out. It's very important. And I think the first place of consideration is within the community. That's how you build strong communities. That's what I like about Nipsey Hussle. He was in the process of building a strong community. Unfortunately, it shortened, his journey, but and I won't say trend, but he set the example, and I believe it triggered and it's shaken people from all over the world. Wow, he comes from, a poor family. I believe it was poor, I'm not for sure, but he was a gangbanger. He was in prison. He was a drug dealer. He was a rapper. And, sometimes we have to go through those experiences, but a lot of those experiences is to help make us who we become. And when you get to that point and you begin to uh, do the transitioning, my biggest mistake was that I did not grow with my businesses. People saw more of me than I saw myself. Complacency, you know, thinking that this is all you have to do. No, family businesses is a family. It's not like if you got mom, dad, son, and daughter. It's not mom do all the work. It's not son and daughter do all the work. It's a family business. Everyone should have their own place, their own position. That's how it grows because one person can't do everything. Even if you have, like, say, one is a better cook, one is better in finances, one is better in marketing. We have to market ourselves. Marketing should be a lifestyle. Not that every conversation should be about me, my, I, but I'm quite sure today people will ask you very quickly, with no hesitation, so what do you do for a living? Oh, I own a restaurant. Oh, well, I'm a blogger. I'm a YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel. I host one. Oh, then it sparks the conversation. Oh, what's the name of your channel? Purpose Closure. And now people don't have to wait. They can just pull out their cell phone. Oh, here you go, right here. It happens to me all the time. And consistency is so important because there's been time when my website has been down because I would forget to pay it, or mismanaging or not really counting the full cost, it'll go down. So stability, consistency is also important in a family business. Being able to delegate and not have to control everything where it stagnates the business because everyone has to wait on you to do your share and everyone else's. I hope that this chapter of family business has helped you. Please share. If you have someone that you know that has a family business or are self-employed, these few chosen words at this divine appointment, um, it really can help someone. And that's what it's all about. Helping other people usher into their destiny. And unfortunately, some people have already experienced businesses and they are afraid to try again. But I say never give up. I have failed many, many, many a times. And I know people, they look at me like, she's still standing. Yes, I am. I may wiggle, I may wobble, but I will not fall down because God is the head of my life. And I'm grateful, I'm peaceful, and most of all, I am obedient. And what I mean by obedient, when God lays something on my heart to do or say, I've learned that if I don't be obedient and do it just because I don't understand it, then I miss out. Or that's on my hand because I could have helped someone else. It's not always about you, it's not always about me. Like family business, it's not always about just the mom or the dad. It's about the family, many generations, and building a strong community because I guarantee you someone is always, always watching them, always watching them. You may not even know it. That's just like, when you pick your nose and you think no one's looking, someone's always looking. I'll be in the car driving, I always catch people doing stuff like that, pulling their little pants out crack and things like that. Someone's always looking at you. Matter of fact, you got landline security. You got cameras all over the poles and the street corners. They see you when you come out your house, go in your house, get in your car, go to your job. You know, I'm not saying walk around and be afraid or paranoid, but I'm just letting you know that you just never know what type of influence you give to people. Because a lot of times people are admiring you from a distance, and that's the beauty of it. When you're being a light set upon a hill that no man can put out, you don't even realize it because you are focused and you have the right intention and you have the right attitude, and that is very, very important, especially in business. And surround yourself with business people that are doing better than you. Don't hate because they're doing better than you, but that's how you pull yourself up because you can learn. If you just be with people that are stagnated, not trying to do anything, or pretty much in the same situation you are, I'm not saying don't deal with them. What I'm saying is that you can't grow. They're going to just draw from you until you empty. Like if I continue to just drink this glass of water, a couple of sips at a time, it's gone. It's empty. And that's how you can become if you keep pouring out, and you're not feeding yourself. That's what I mean about reading. And if you're a lazy reader, like I said, you can browse to the internet and check things out. Just feed your brain. That's what's very important. Feeding your brain if you want to be in business. Computers are always changing. Electronics is always changing. Things are not manual. The world is moving fast. You have a steady pace because you're growing. You're not running. You're not just laying there, with your feet up and your head back, but you're keeping a steady pace and being consistent and responsible and building communities and influencing other people's lives, in a positive way. And most of all, you'll be able to feed your family and you have a better quality of life because if you do it right, you can go on family vacations. You can give a stranger something because you have a cash flow. There's so many ways that you can get paid, through your services or through your products, that you sell. You can take credit cards, you can push a button on your phone and do a cash app. I mean, it's so many ways. A lot of people are not even using cash money anymore. So I just wanted to share that with you. I got something on my windowsill here. It's like a little ticket. It's okay. But I have truly enjoyed, and time just went by so fast, like already 35 minutes, on the video. There's always so many things to talk about. In the beginning, I was a little shy, you know, um, but I'm over it. Believe it or not, yes, sometimes I'm shy. But you know what? Shy people don't get fed. Shy people don't get heard. Shy people don't get noticed. And right now, I am at a mountaintop and I am screaming for someone to just listen, with an open mind and a pure heart to the videos and the content in the videos. And I'm quite sure that you will learn something. No one knows everything. I don't know everything. You don't know everything. But if each one teach one, everyone will learn and everyone will eat and everyone will grow. So until the next video, I will see you later. And let me make a couple of announcements. Okay. Like I said, my website is thepurposeofclosure.com. You can click on the bookstore and you can go online and purchase my books. They're not that expensive. And I also have a Blog Talk Radio. If you click on where it says Blog Talk Radio in the mornings at 5:30 a.m., I provide like 15 minutes of prayer. If you can't make it at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, then you can always go back and listen to it anytime. Prayer is a powerful thing, but if you don't do it, if you think it, if you talk about it, it's not effective. You have to actually have a prayer life. That's a number one necessity for a successful business as well. Prayer, not religion. Okay? Because there may be some things that God be telling you to do that you need to do. You never even thought. You'd be like, wow, where I get that idea from? That comes through prayer, which is communication with God. He'll give you the wisdom. He'll give you the witty ideas. He'll give you direction. He'll put the right people in your place. He'll send you the customers and the business that you need. But if you try to do it all on your own without acknowledging Him, that's not cool. It's not going to work. You know, it's going to be limited. Some things will come by, some things will come to pass, but it will be limited. God will bless you exceedingly, abundantly, more than you can ever think or ask of. That is the beauty of prayer. Also, like I said, you just go to the website, click on Blog Talk Radio. I have Instagram, Twitter. When you go onto the website, all that is on the website, the Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Join me, follow me in there. Also, I will announce, so that's why it's so important to make sure that you subscribe and share and like so that you know when I come up. I'm going to have a specific time instead of just jumping on randomly. I'm going to organize where I can have a schedule, and that way you'll know, oh, okay, Purpose Reading is going to be on. And that way you can ask me questions and, like I said, participate personally. So until then, I will see you later, and no goodbyes. Have a very blessed and productive day. Ciao.